intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors, that are nothing but types of semiconductors to any energy level. So first topic, chemical bonds in semiconductors. So semiconductors means generally we are taking the examples as germanium and silicon, which are crystalline in structure. So both these materials are tetravalent. Tetravalent means 4 valence electrons are available in their outer shell. So each crystalline material or each germanium or silicon has 4 valence electrons in the outermost shell. So germanium has the atomic number 32. So the electronic configuration of germanium is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3d2, 4s2, 4p2. So this is the general electronic configuration of germanium. We know very well. We studied also in our intermediate also. Okay. So here there are the generally 4p is not filled. 4p is not filled. It is not half filled, not completely filled. Only 2 electrons are filled. Here 4s is completely filled. But for the stability of the atom, the electron which is present in the 4s is going into the 4p. Then it becomes as 4s1 and 4p3. 4s1 and 4p3. So this is half filled. This is also half filled. So it is half filled, which is stable. So 4 valence electrons are available in s orbital. There is one half filled. That means there is a chance to occupy 1 electron. In 4p3 there is a chance to occupy 3 electrons. So 3 plus 1, 4 electrons. So that 4 electrons are called, that atoms are called pentavalent. So germanium, like that, similarly silicon also. Silicon has 28 electrons. Okay. So the structure, germanium structure. Here this is the +4 in the diagram. +4 indicates the atom. +4 indicates the atom. This is the germanium atom, germanium atom, germanium atom, germanium atom. All +4s are germanium atoms. That means the core atom. The 4 valence electrons. For example, consider this one. This is the germanium core atom. That means it contains up to this one. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3d10. Up to this one is this one. And the remaining 4 electrons, 4s1, 4p3 are, this is the, for example, we are taking 4s1 electron, 4px, 4py, 4pz. So that means these are the 4 valency electrons sharing with the 4 other atoms. This is the first atom, second atom, third atom, fourth atom. So this is also germanium atom. So germanium atom shares their electrons between the 2 atoms. So here sharing of electrons between the 2 atoms is a covalent bond. So in germanium, the covalent bond takes place. In germanium atom, the covalent bond takes place. So that's why the covalent bond is shown in the diagram as dotted line. This is the covalent bond. These are the valency electrons. This electron belongs to this germanium atom, and this electron belongs to this germanium atom. And this 4 plus 4, already I told that, core of germanium, that is called core atom of germanium. So when we are giving a small amount of energy, thermal energy, we know very well, in the last class also we discussed the bond breaking energy for germanium. We need 0.7 electron volt. When we are giving 0.7 electron volt of energy to the germanium, the bond breaks. So due to the breaking of this bond, the electron is to be free. So this electron is moving from valency band to conduction band. Already we know, in the last class we studied, valency band is, it is full of valency electrons. Conduction band means it is empty. There are no free electrons are available in the conduction band. Free electrons are available in valency band. So this free electron is free from the covalent bond due to the energy. That means generally we are giving thermal energy. Due to the thermal energy, the bond breaks. The electron escapes from covalent bond and leaves an empty site. That empty site is called hole. The whole concept arises in semiconductors only. It is not possible in conductors. So here the same germanium atom, here the electron, the bond breaks, the electron is to be free. So the electron is moving outside somewhere. So here that electron, this hole is occupied by the another electron of another germanium bond, this bond. So the whole movement takes place like this. So the electron movement is like this. Okay. When the electron escapes from the covalent bond, an empty space is left behind, which is called a hole. This is called hole. I will show you in a video. Okay, later I will show you a video. So intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. So for going to the intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductor, I will show you the video. One minute. So you can see this is the tetravalent nature. So this is the germanium atom. The germanium atom 4 valence electrons are these. This is another germanium atom. Germanium atom shares the 2 electrons. This is a covalent bond. So these are the covalent bonds, silicon nuclei. When we are giving energy, heat energy to the germanium atoms, so the heat energy interacts with the atom, so the electron releases from the bond, covalent bond. So here the hole creates empty site. This hole attracts the atom, neighboring atom. So hole here, the hole replaced by this atom. So the empty space is occupied by the electron. When we are up field, this positive charge, negative charge. Towards the positive charge moving. Towards the negative charge, positive is moving. Hole is a positive charge. So the intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. In intrinsic semiconductor, I'm taking silicon as the example for here. Intrinsic means pure semiconductor, a semiconductor in which electrons and holes are solely created by thermal excitation, only due to the thermal energy only, is called a pure or intrinsic semiconductor. In intrinsic semiconductor, the electrons reaching the conduction band due to thermal excitation, leaving equal number of vacancies or holes in the valency band. That means when we are giving a small amount of energy to the silicon, here the bond breaks. So due to the breaking, electron is to be free. That is called free electron. This free electron is moving from valency band to conduction band and leaving an empty site hole. So that hole is available in the conduction band. So when the bond breaks, the electrons are moving from valency band to conduction band. So electrons are available in conduction band, holes are available in valency band. So number of free electrons available in conduction band is equal to number of holes available in the valency band of an intrinsic semiconductor. So that's why the electrons reaching the conduction band due to thermal excitation leave equal number of vacancies or holes in the valency band. That is, in intrinsic semiconductor, the number of free electrons is always equal to the number of holes as shown in the above figure. So once again, the movement of hole can be explained with the diagram, that is in intrinsic semiconductor, which is nothing but pure semiconductor. So this is the germanium atom. So this is the core of the germanium atom, or the nucleus of the germanium atom. These are the 4 valency electrons. So when we are giving thermal energy to the system, the electron which is in with the other germanium in the covalent bond, it becomes to be free due to the energy. We are giving heat energy or light energy, whatever it may be. The electron is free from the bond, covalent bond, and that electron is going to the conduction band, leaving that empty side. Leaving an empty side. That empty side is filled by some other germanium atoms electron. So displacement of electrons takes place. Due to the displacement of electron, we are getting the electron current, and the hole is moving. Here the electron occupies this hole, so the hole is moving to this one. That hole is occupying by this electron, so hole is moving this side. So here both electron movement and hole movement takes place. So due to that movement of electron and hole, here we are getting 2 types of currents, electron current and hole current. But whereas in conductor, that is only the electron current, there is no hole, there is no case of hole in the conductors. So this is about the intrinsic semiconductors. Next, extrinsic semiconductors. What are extrinsic semiconductors? The electrical conductivity of pure germanium or silicon can be increased by adding impurity in the process of crystallization. That means when we are adding some impurities. Why we are adding here impurities? To increase the nature of charge carriers. In intrinsic semiconductor, the number of available electrons in conduction band, the number of available holes in the valency band are equal. So the net current is to be equal. So here we want to increase the current. So for the increasing of current, we need to add some charge carriers. To increase the charge carriers, for that we are adding some impurities. So due to the addition of impurity atom to the pure semiconductor, that is called an extrinsic semiconductor. The added impurity is very small. Here we are adding only 1 atom per million atoms. That means here we are adding an impurity atom to 1 million atoms of germanium or to 1 million atoms of silicon. Such semiconductors are called extrinsic semiconductors. Extrinsic means impure. Intrinsic means pure semiconductor. Extrinsic means impure semiconductor. The added impurity may be pentavalent or trivalent. The suitable pentavalent elements are phosphorus, arsenic, and antimony, etc. Whereas trivalent elements are boron, aluminum, and gallium, etc. Depending on the type of impurity added, the impure or extrinsic semiconductors can be divided into 2 classes. The first one is N-type semiconductor, the second one is P-type semiconductor. N-type semiconductor means the majority charge carriers are electrons. P-type semiconductor means the majority charge carriers are holes. Hole means here we are treating as positive. Electron means we are treating as negative. That's why it's named as N-type and P-type. N-type semiconductors. What are N-type semiconductors? When a pentavalent impurity. Pentavalent impurity means in the previous slide, the pentavalent impurity atoms are phosphorus, arsenic, and antimony. Remember that. Trivalent impurity atoms means boron, aluminum, gallium. I am taking phosphorus and boron. For pentavalent, I am taking phosphorus. For trivalent, I am taking boron here. So, here we are not adding impurity means directly we are mixing with the semiconductor, that means pure semiconductor with the impurity atom. Here we are going crystals. So when a pentavalent impurity is added with the crystalline during the crystal growth, the resultant crystal is called N-type semiconductor. Let us consider the case when pentavalent arsenic is added to pure germanium crystal. So here already we discussed the 4 means tetravalent. This is the tetravalent germanium, tetravalent germanium, tetravalent germanium, tetravalent germanium. These are the 4 tetravalent germanium atoms. For this, I am adding a pentavalent, that is arsenic. This is the pentavalent. Pentavalent means 5 valency electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here the sharing, the dotted line is already I told that the dotted line indicates covalent bond. The dotted line indicates covalent bond, covalent bond, covalent bond, covalent bond with the germanium atom. So second atom with the germanium atom bond formation takes place, third atom bond formation takes place, fourth one takes place, and the fifth one. Or this is the first atom, second atom, third electron, fourth electron. 4 electrons are in the participation of covalent bond with the 4 other germanium atoms. This is the fifth electron of arsenic atom. This is empty, this is free. This is free. There is no bond formation with this electron. So this is the arsenic atom, which is called as an impurity atom. This is the germanium atom. The fifth electron of arsenic atom is not covalently bonded, but it is loosely bound to the arsenic atom. Here the fifth electron atom is loosely bound to the arsenic atom. So it is ready to, when we are giving a small amount of energy to that, the electron is freely moving from valency band to conduction band takes place. Now by increasing the thermal energy or by applying electric field, this electron can easily be excited from the valency band to the conduction band. Thus, every arsenic atom contributes one conduction electron without creating a positive hole. In the previous case, that is an intrinsic semiconductor, when we are giving a small amount of energy, the covalent bond breaks, the electron is free from that covalent bond and it is moving from valency band to conduction band. Here, the fifth electron is not with the covalent bond. So that's why with the little amount of energy, the fifth electron is moving from valency band to conduction band without creating any hole. That means in n-type semiconductor, there is no creation of hole due to the movement of electron from valency band to conduction band. Hence, arsenic is called a donor element since it donates free electrons. The crystal as a whole has excess of electrons, which are the current carriers. Here we are adding one impurity atom to a million of pure or intrinsic semiconductor. Due to the addition of impurity atoms, we are getting a large number of free electrons are available. That large number of available free electrons can be called as donors. Since the current carriers are negatively charged particles. Why? Because here the electrons are the negatively charged particles. So this type of semiconductor is called n-type semiconductors. And the next one is p-type semiconductors. So same, in the previous case in n-type semiconductor, we added a pentavalent impurity. We are adding a trivalent impurity like boron to the germanium atom in the crystallization. That means pure crystallization growth. The resulting crystal is called p-type semiconductor. Let us consider the case when trivalent boron. Here we are adding boron to the pure germanium crystal. Same in the previous case. Same. Okay. Here this is the germanium atom, this is the germanium atom, this is the germanium atom, and this is the germanium atom. To these 4 germanium atoms, we are adding with a trivalent impurity boron. That means 3 valence electrons, 1, 2, 3. The first electron with the covalent bond of germanium, the second electron with the covalent bond of other germanium, and the third one the other germanium atom. Here the electron is from the germanium. Here there is no electron to participate the covalent bond with the germanium. So it is called an empty site, deficiency of an electron, which is called a hole. So due to the addition of trivalent impurity atoms, there are the possibility of vacant sites. That vacant sites are called deficiencies of electron, or which is called a hole. Now the remaining 4th atom of germanium also tries to form a covalent bond. It steals an electron from the neighboring germanium atom. That means this hole, to occupy that hole, the hole is occupied by some other covalent bonds electron. That is called, it steals an electron from the neighboring germanium atom. Due to the stealing action, a hole is created in the adjacent atom. That means in the previous video I shown, the empty site is occupied by the other covalent bond electron. So the hole is moving towards negative electron. The electron is moving towards positive electron. Here also same. Okay, this process continues and the hole moves about in a random way due to thermal effects. Impurity atoms that contributes holes in this manner are termed as acceptors. because they accept electrons from germanium atoms. Since current carriers are positively charged particles, which are called holes, this type of semiconductor is called p-type semiconductor. So finally, in intrinsic semiconductor, the number of electrons is equal to the number of electrons in conduction band is equal to the number of holes in valency band. Whereas in a n-type semiconductor, here the charge carriers are electrons, which are majority charge carriers. In p-type semiconductor, holes are the majority charge carriers. Okay. In intrinsic semiconductor, charge carriers, both electrons and holes are equal. Remember that. In intrinsic semiconductor, the number of available electrons in conduction band is equal to number of holes available in valency band. Whereas in p-type, n-type semiconductor, there is no concept of hole. Here the majority charge carriers are electrons due to the addition of impurity, that is pentavalent impurity. Whereas in p-type semiconductor, the majority charge carriers are holes, which are positively charged particles. Okay. What is Fermi level? Fermi level means the maximum energy level occupied by a particle at 0 Kelvin temperature is known as Fermi level. So this is the Fermi level diagram in intrinsic, n-type and p-type semiconductor. Generally, we know this is the valency band, this is the conduction band. The energy difference between valency band and conduction band is called energy band gap or forbidden band gap. In intrinsic semiconductor, the number of available electrons in conduction band is equal to number of available holes in valency band. Why? Because when we are giving energy, the bond breaks, so the electron escapes from valency band to conduction band, leaving a hole here. So the number of electrons in conduction band is equal to number of holes in valency band. So that is the Fermi level lies exactly at the center of the valency band and conduction band. This will prove in the next class. That means the Fermi level lies exactly at the center of valency band and conduction band will be proved in the next class. Next topic, that is carrier concentration in intrinsic semiconductor. Coming to the n-type semiconductor, here in n-type semiconductor, the majority charge carriers are electrons. That means generally in intrinsic semiconductor, the valency band is like this. That means the top of the level is filled with the electrons. But here, the electrons are majority charge carriers. So much of available of electrons are there. It is full of electrons. So that electrons are reaches to the near to the conduction band. So the electron levels are up to here. So that's why the Fermi level is nearer to the conduction level. Coming to the p-type semiconductor, here the generally conduction band means empty. In p-type semiconductor, empty sites are more and more. So that's why the empty sites is full. So that empty sites are reaches to valency band. So that's why the Fermi level lies near to the valency band. I will explain later with the help of theoretically. That means carrier concentration in n-type semiconductor and carrier concentration of p-type semiconductor. We will discuss elaboratively with the proof also. Okay. So what is meant by Fermi level? The maximum energy level occupied by a particle at 0 Kelvin temperature is known as Fermi level, Fermi energy level. So review questions from the above topics. Explain the formation of chemical bonds in semiconductors. Distinguish between intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors with suitable examples. What is a Fermi level? Which is a very, very short answer. Draw the Fermi level in intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductor. This is also short answer. So multiple choice questions. The electrical conductivity of semiconductor temperature is, so that means in a electrical conductivity means 0. That means at 0 Kelvin. Okay. Next, at room temperature, the conduction band electrons are dash that of valency holes in intrinsic semiconductor. Already we told that at room temperature, the number of available electrons in conduction band is equal to number of available holes in valency band. So C. Electronic configuration of germanium is 32. Already we discussed it. So in the next class, we will discuss intrinsic carrier concentration or density of charge carriers and Fermi level in intrinsic semiconductor. Okay. So thank you.
This conference will now be recorded.
So calculation of density of electrons. That means in intrinsic semiconductor, this is the energy level diagram of intrinsic semiconductor. So this is the valency band. This is the conduction band. When we are giving a small amount of energy, that means at a T equal to 0 Kelvin, these two electrons are also in the valency band. When we are giving a small amount of energy to the intrinsic semiconductor, the bond breaks. Due to the breaking of bond, the electrons are moving from valency band to conduction band, leaving empty sites, which are called holes. So this is the toppest energy level of valency band, which can be called as EV, valency band energy level, EV. Below that EV, the band is full of electrons up to minus infinity. Remember that once again. This is the toppest level of valency band, which is called EV. Below that level, all energy levels are completely filled up to minus infinity. So this is the conduction band. This conduction band starts from EC. So from here to the conduction band is empty, actually empty. I am showing 2 electrons. This is the after the breaking of covalent bond. So actually this is completely empty. This band is from EC to plus infinity. The band range is from EC to plus infinity. Valence range from EV to minus infinity. Once again, the boundaries of valency band are from EV to minus infinity. It can be written as minus infinity to EV. The conduction band boundaries are from EC to plus infinity. From EC to plus infinity. So here in this is the intrinsic semiconductor energy level. Here the EF represents the Fermi level. Fermi level lies exactly at the center of EC and EV. Why? Because the number of available holes in valency band is equal to number of available electrons in conduction. So that is the case here. So when we are giving a small amount of energy, the bond breaks in the semiconducting material, which is covalent bond. So due to the breaking of covalent bond, the electrons are moving from valency band to conduction band, leaving empty sites in the valency band. So these are called holes. These are electrons. These are called conduction electrons. These are called conduction electrons. These electrons are coming from valency band. These holes are created in valency band. So in intrinsic semiconductor, the number of available electrons in conduction band is equal to number of available holes in valency band. In conduction band, the current is due to electrons. In valency band, the current is due to holes. So here now we are discussing about our topic. Our subheading of the topic is calculation of density of electrons. That means where are the electrons are available? The electrons are available in the conduction band. So that's why we are discussing about the valency electron, that means conduction electrons in the conduction band. Let Dn be the number of available electrons between the energy interval E and E plus dV. Let Dn be the number of electrons available between the energy interval E and E plus dE in the conduction band. We are discussing the electrons in the conduction band. So here the electrons. Let us suppose, let Dn be the number of electrons. Here we are seeing 2 electrons. So if you don't know how many electrons are available, that electrons can be denoted with Dn, small number of electrons. That small number of electrons are available in the energy interval E and E plus dE. This is the, for example, this is one of the energy interval. So this energy interval is difference as E and E plus dE. So the number of available energy, the number of available electrons in the energy interval in between the energy interval E and E plus dE is Dn is equal to G of E into F of E into dE. This is the formula for number of available electrons in any interval of energies. Dn is equal to G of E into F of E into dE. What is G of E into dE? G of E into dE, this G of E and dE. G of E into dE is called density of electrons in the energy interval E and E plus dE. That means the number of available energy levels in the conduction band to occupying that electron. What is f of E? F of E is called Fermi-Dirac distribution function. So the value of G of E into dE is like that. This is a formula. G of E into dE is equal to 4 pi by h cube into 2m whole power 3 by 2 e power 1 by 2 dE. This is the, what is G of E into dE? Density of electrons. Density means number of available electrons in the energy interval E and E plus dE. So in between the two different energy levels, the number of available densities, that means available places, that is 4 pi by h cube into 2m into whole power 3 by 2 e power 1 by 2 into d. So since electron is moving in a periodic potential, that means electron is moving in between the two positive ion cores. Germanium is the positive ion core. That is, out of 32 electrons, 28 electrons are bonded to the nucleus. So that 28 bounded nucleus can be called as a positive ion core. And another positive ion core is beside that the germanium atom. So electron is moving between the two positive ion cores. So that's why the electron which is moving in between the two positive ion cores are the periodic potentials, we can be called as a effective mass of electron, which can be denoted with me star. This density of states in energy level and me star is available in our textbook also. You can go through the previous unit of semiconductors in your textbook. So replacing this m with me star, the equation can become as G of E into dE is equal to same equation 4 pi by h cube. In the place of m, we are taking as me star e power 1 by 2 dE. Here the conduction band starts from EC to up to plus infinity. So that's why since EC starts at the bottom of the conduction band EC, then in the above equation E can be written as E minus EC whole power 1 by 2. So finally we can get the density of states value G of E into dE in the equation 6.1 as G of E into dE is equal to 4 pi by h cube into 2 me star whole power 3 by 2 E minus EC whole power 1 by 2 into dE. What is me star? Effective mass of electron. What is this E minus EC? Here the conduction band starts from EC. EC is the lowest energy value in the conduction band. Okay. So here in the above equation, we are taking this is as a constant. A into E minus EC whole power 1 by 2 into dE. What is A? 4 pi by h cube into 2 me star whole power 3 by 2. In the above equation 6.1, this is the 6.1. dN is equal to G of E into f of E into dE. G of E into dE value is this one, A into E minus EC whole power 1 by 2 into dE. What is A? A is a constant, 4 pi by h cube, h Planck's constant, m effective mass of the electron. So in that equation, f of E is the term. That f of E is called probability, Fermi-Dirac distribution function, probability occupancy. So the formula for f of E, that means Fermi-Dirac distribution function, can be written as f of E is equal to 1 by 1 plus exponential of E minus EF by kT. What it gives? What is probability function? Probability function, Fermi-Dirac distribution function gives which gives the probability of finding an electron in an energy level. Finding the probability of an electron in an energy level. I will explain with an example in the next. So now from the above equations, the dN can be written as it can be written as dN is equal to A into E minus EC whole power 1 by 2 into f of E into dE. So now to obtain the total number of electrons in the conduction band at any temperature, we have to integrate the above equation from EC to plus infinity. Already we told that. I told you EC is the lowest conduction band energy. The conduction band is from EC to plus infinity. So the electron can be available in that any of the energy state. That's why we are integrating from EC to plus infinity. So by integrating integral dN, it can become as n is equal to integral EC to plus infinity A into E minus EC whole power 1 by 2 1 by 1 plus exponential of E minus EF by kT into dE. So here A is constant, EC is variable, E is also constant. EC is constant, E is variable. EC is the lowest conduction band energy. So for all possible temperatures, that means in the exponential term, E minus EF is very greater than KT. So the term unity in the denominator is neglected. So the above equation can be written as like this. N is equal to integral EC to infinity A into E minus EC whole power 1 by 2, 1 by exponential of E minus EF by KT into dE. The denominator exponential function can be written as like this. So 1 by exponential of x, exponential of minus x. So exponential of minus E minus EF by KT into dE. So by multiplying minus term into that, we can write N is equal to A into integral EC to infinity E minus EC whole power 1 by 2 exponential of minus into E minus E minus into minus plus EF minus E by KT into dE. So the term can be written as, here already I told that A is a constant, here EF is constant, EF, EC, EV terms are constant. So taken out exponential of EF by KT, we know very well exponential of A minus B, exponential of A into exponential of minus B, same, A constant, exponential of EF by KT taken out, the remaining term integral EC to plus infinity E minus EC whole power 1 by 2 exponential of minus E by KT into dE. So to integrate this, let us consider E minus E as x, put x. To solve the integral, E minus EC is equal to x, E is equal to EC plus x. So by differentiating, dE is equal to, here EC is constant, already I told that EC, EV, EF, the three terms are to be constant. E is variable, so dE is equal to dx, and we know the lower limit. For the lower limit, E is EC, so EC is equal to 0, and the upper limit, here the infinity upper limit. So replacing E with infinity, infinity minus EC is equal to x, x is equal to infinity. So the new limits are x, the lower limit is 0 and the upper limit is infinity, and E minus EC is equal to x. So replacing that in the above equation, N is equal to A into exponential of EF by KT integral 0 to infinity x power 1 by 2 E minus EC whole power 1 by 2, the previous equation. So x power 1 by 2 exponential of E minus EC minus x. Why? Because in that the term is E, so minus E. So in the place of minus E, minus EC minus x into dx. So it can be written as A into exponential of EF by KT. Here also EC term is constant term. So taken out exponential of minus EC by KT, and the remaining term is integral 0 to infinity x power 1 by 2 exponential of minus x by KT into dx. So here exponential of A into exponential of B minus B. So it can be written as exponential of A minus B. Here the denominator is same. So A into exponential of E minus EC by KT integral 0 to infinity x power 1 by 2 exponential of minus x by KT into dx. So to solve this term, we are using beta gamma functions. So we know very well in that integral 0 to infinity x power 1 by 2 exponential of minus x into dx is equal to root pi by 2. This is a standard value. Okay. So similarly, our expression is integral 0 to infinity x power 1 by 2 same, exponential of minus x is same, but there exists some numerator term. So that can be written as KT whole power 3 by 2 into that constant term. Here K is Boltzmann constant, T is absolute temperature. At a particular temperature, it is a constant value. So that's why this is a constant term. So the constant term whole power 3 by 2 into root pi by 2. So by substituting the value, the integral value in the above equation, we can get N is equal to A into exponential of EF minus EC by KT. The integral term value is KT whole power 3 by 2 into root pi by 2. By placing this one, we know A. What is A? A is equal to 4 pi by h cube into 2m star whole power 3 by 2. So by substituting the A value and by rearranging, that means finally the value of N. What is N? The number of available electrons in the conduction band. The number of available electrons in the conduction band due to the breaking of bond in intrinsic semiconductor. You should remember it. It is very important equation. n is equal to 2 pi me star kt by h square whole power 3 by 2 into exponential of ef minus ec by kt. Okay, so calculation of density of holes. The density of holes are available in valency band. Let dp be the number of available holes between the energy interval E and E plus dE in the valency band. That is dp is equal to g of E into 1 minus f of E into dE. Same in the same thing. The value of g of E into dE is called density of states. Here, there the density of electrons, here the density of holes in the energy interval E and E plus dE. We know the value of g of E into dE, 4 pi by h cube into 2m whole power 3 by 2 e power 1 by 2 dE. This equation is similar to in density of electrons also. There that m has replaced with me star, that is effective mass of electron. Here this m is replaced with hole. So the above equation becomes as g of E into dE is equal to 4 pi by h cube into, in the place of m we are taking mh star. Why we are taking mh star? Because here the hole is moving between the positive ion cores. The positive ion cores can be treated as a periodic potentials. According to Kronig-Penney model, when an electron is varying in between, moving in between the periodic potentials, that mass can be replaced by effective mass. Here the hole, here the particle is hole, so that's why we are replacing that mass with the effective mass of hole. So the value of g of E into dE in equation 6.8 is 4 pi by h cube into 2 mh star whole power 3 by 2 into e power 1 by 2 into dE. Now we want to find the 1 minus f of E. What is 1 minus f of E? What is f of E? The probability of finding an electron in the conduction band. So 1 minus f of E gives the probability of finding an hole in the valency band. What is f of E? F of E is the probability of finding the electron in conduction band. So 1 minus f of E means leaving a hole in the valency band. That means the probability of finding a hole in the valency band. So here the energy, in the previous case the energy E is replaced with E minus EC. What is EC? The lowest conduction band energy level. Here the E replaced with EV minus E. Why? Because here EV is the toppest value, toppest energy of the valency band. So here same also. In the previous case we took the constant as A. Here we are taking as the constant as B. So the above equation becomes as, here the value of 1 minus f of E, probability of existence of holes in the valency band for all possible temperatures, E minus EF is very less than KT. Then the value of 1 minus f of E, 1 minus 1 by 1 plus, this value is probability of finding an electron in the valency band, conduction band. So 1 minus probability of finding an electron in conduction band is equal to the probability of finding a hole in the valency band. So 1 minus whole power minus 1, the denominator term to become as this one. So by expanding this, neglecting higher order terms, so this is the expansion of 1 plus x whole power minus 1. So 1 minus x, by multiplying minus into the bracket, minus 1 and minus into minus plus. So minus 1 gets cancelled. The term is exponential of E minus EF by KT. Exponential of E minus EF by KT. So now the equation becomes dP is equal to some constant B into EV minus E whole power 1 by 2 into 1 minus f of E into dE. So the value become as dP is equal to B into EV minus E whole power 1 by 2 into exponential of E minus EF by KT into dE. So for getting the density of holes in the valency band, to integrate the above equation from minus infinity to EV, so we can get P is equal to, here the constant is B and exponential of minus EF by KT is also constant. Here B is constant, exponential of minus EF by KT is also constant. So by taking out the, and by substituting all the things and by doing the calculations, we can finally get the density of holes in the valency band. That is P is equal to 2 into 2 pi mh star KT by h square whole power 3 by 2 exponential of EV minus EF by KT. So we know density of electrons in the conduction band and we know density of holes in the valency band, that is Already we discussed the number of available electrons in conduction band is equal to the number of available in valency band. So P is equal to N. So we know N, this is the N. The difference between the density of electrons and density of holes is MH, here MH star, here ME star. Here the exponential term is exponential of EV minus EF. Here the exponential of EF minus EC. This is the difference between the density of electrons in conduction band and density of holes in valency band. So we want to calculate the intrinsic carrier concentration. Our topic heading is intrinsic carrier concentration. In intrinsic semiconductor, we know the number of available electrons in conduction band is equal to the number of available holes in valency band. So N is equal to P, which can be taken as Ni. So N is equal to P is equal to Ni is called intrinsic carrier concentration. So I am taking Ni square. Ni square means N into P. We know N value in the previous slide we discussed. So N is this one, 2 into 2 pi me star kt by h square whole power 3 by 2 exponential of Ef minus Ec by kt. P means 2 into 2 pi mh star whole power kt by h square whole power 3 by 2 exponential of Ev minus Ef by kt. So by combining, that means by product of these two, we can get Ni square. So 4 into 2 pi kt by h square whole power 3 by 2 cancellation to 3 by 2 plus 3 by 2 3 me star mh star whole power 3 by 2 exponential of Ev minus Ec by kt minus Ef plus Ef cancellation takes place. So 4 into 2 pi kt by h square whole power 3 me star mh star whole power 3 by 2 exponential of Eg minus Eg by kt. What is minus Eg by what is Eg? Eg means energy band gap. That is the energy difference between the valency band and conduction band. Valency band means conduction band means Ec minus Ev is equal to plus Eg. But here Ev minus Ec, that's why we are taking minus symbol. So where Ec minus Ev is equal to Eg, which is called forbidden band gap. Hence Ni is equal to, here the value is Ni square. We want Ni, intrinsic carrier concentration. So square root of this one, square root of 2, 4 is 2. So by 3 by 2, me star mh square whole power 3 by 2 whole power 1 by 2. So 3 by 4 exponential of minus Eg by kt whole power 1 by 2. That can be written as exponential of minus Eg by 2 kt. So this is a very, very important expression for online bit, and also it is very, very important equation for the calculation of conductivity in intrinsic semiconductor also. So next, Fermi level. In intrinsic semiconductor, the Fermi level lies exactly at the center of the conduction band and valency band. Already I showed in the Fermi level energy diagram in the previous class. So since N is equal to P in intrinsic semiconductor, N, what is N? 2 into 2 pi me star kt by h square whole power 3 by 2 into exponential of Ef minus Ec by kt. What is P? 2 into 2 pi mh star kt by h square whole power 3 by 2 exponential of Ev minus Ef by kt. So cancellation, 2 cancellation, 2 pi kt by h square cancellation from both sides. Here the remaining term is me star, this term exponential of Ef minus Ec by kt. Here mh star whole power 3 by 2 exponential of this term. So by arranging, that means exponential term, mh star, this term takes to right hand side, mh star by me star whole power 3 by 2. So here exponential of Ef minus Ec by kt, exponential of Ev minus Ef by kt. So by dividing this term to exponential of Ev by kt into exponential of minus Ef. So by taking this to left hand side, divided by. So by taking to numerator exponential of 2f by kt, which is equal to mh star by me star whole power 3 by 2 exponential of Ev. Here minus Ec to the right hand side plus Ec. kt. So apply log to the base e on both sides, the above equation. So exponential term will be removed. So 2Ef by kt is equal to 3 by 2 by applying log. This is log a b, log a plus log b. So this is the plus term, log of exponential log term. Why? Because here we took log to the base e. So that's why Ev plus Ec by kt. So here we are applying log. So finally we want Fermi energy level. Fermi energy level Ef is equal to 3 by 2 by taking this 2 to 3 by 4 kt log mh star by me star plus Ev plus Ec by 2. If we assume that Me star is equal to Mh star, then log 1 0. So that's why Ef is equal to Ev plus Ec by 2. That means if Me star is equal to Mh star, when it will takes place Me star is equal to Mh star at T is equal to 0 Kelvin only. At T equal to 0 Kelvin, Me star is equal to Mh star. So at T equal to 0 Kelvin means T value is 0. 0 into anything, this term to be 0. So Ef is equal to Ev plus Ec by 2. What is Ev? Highest energy level of the valency band. What is Ec? Lowest energy level of the conduction band. So middle of that the difference of energy is band gap. So Ef lies exactly at the center of the energy band gap. So this is the Ef. Okay, this can be explained as thus Fermi level is located halfway between the valency band and the conduction band at T equal to 0 Kelvin. With increase of temperature, what happens? What happens if temperature increases? The Fermi level is displaced. That means the Fermi level Ef is displaced towards conduction band. With increasing temperature, Ef goes upward. If Mh star greater than Me star or downwards, that means this Fermi level goes. This is a C. Upward means B. What is A at T equal to 0 Kelvin? What is B as temperature increases? What is C as temperature decreases? What happens if temperature increases? Mh star greater than Me star. What happens if temperature decreases? Mh star less than Me star. In most of the intrinsic semiconductor, the shift of Fermi level on account of Me star not equal to Mh star is insignificant. The Fermi level in intrinsic semiconductor may be considered as independent of temperature and as it is in the middle of the band gap. Why? Because in intrinsic semiconductor, the number of available electrons in conduction band is equal to number of available holes in valency band. So the Fermi level always lies at the center of the band only. So this is about the carrier concentration in intrinsic semiconductor. So review questions. Derive an expression for the density of electrons in the conduction band of an intrinsic semiconductor. Here only we want to derive the electrons in conduction band only. That means density of electrons, that is N only. Derive an expression for density of holes in the valency band of an intrinsic semiconductor. That is P only. Obtain the expression for the electron and hole densities in the conduction band and valency band of an intrinsic semiconductor. Find the Fermi level position for it. Complete information. We need complete information. That means we should derive density of electrons, density of holes, intrinsic carrier concentration, and Fermi. Last one. Using the expression of electron and hole concentrations for an intrinsic semiconductor, show that the product of these two concentrations is independent of Fermi level of any type of semiconductor. That is Ni. Okay, so these are the review questions which will come in your examination point. Multiple choice questions. At room temperature, the conduction band electron, the valency that of valency band holes in an intrinsic semiconductor C. Okay, which is equal to, we know. The second one is if Mh star greater than Me star, then the position of Fermi level is, already we discussed it, just above the center of energy band gap. That means Mh star is greater than Me star, the Fermi level goes upward direction. If Mh star less than Me star, goes downward direction. The carrier concentration in intrinsic semiconductor dash with increase of temperature remains, say, increases. The carrier concentration in intrinsic semiconductor increases with increase of temperature. Electrical current in an intrinsic semiconductor is due to conduction band electrons, valency band electrons. Why? Because in intrinsic semiconductor, both currents takes place. The product NP varies by changing temperature. NP means Ni, carrier concentration. So in the next class, we will discuss about N-type carrier concentration and P-type carrier concentration. Okay, so this will discuss in the next class.